seen him in a while, so it's gonna be nice.
See his face. Yes, there he is. I was just saying that I haven't seen you in a while. It's so good to see your face.
True.
You know, I know. Yeah, last time we saw each other was, you know, it was just under unfortunate circumstances. Last time we saw each other, but it's been a while, but it's good to see you. Let me do a check-in with you. How are you holding up with everything?
I'm good. I'm chilling. My family's been straight. We've lost a couple of people actually to COVID. Socially, we've been distancing, but involved. I feel good. I feel optimistic. I'm healthy. You know, I'm staying creative. You know, I've been in the lab. You know, getting some stuff done, and I feel good about where we're at. Us as a people, where we're at. Once the smoke clears and everybody goes back outside, I think there's a level of focus has happened that was missing before, and I'm excited about that. You know, I don't feel diminished or angry or any of that. I feel optimistic and happy about the focus that is present now.
And do you feel that optimistic on all levels? You know, because I feel the same way. I feel like when I see people marching across the world about Black Lives Matter, you know, George Floyd being the catalyst, unfortunately, to that change, it feels different. I've never seen protests in a way that's done like this before. And I also see the conversations that are happening in the theater community, in the film community, TV community, especially in the Black community and all those areas. And so I feel hopeful in all those levels. Are you talking about all those individual levels as well, or?
All right, let's talk about the theater community. Let's talk about the entertainment community in general. Easily for the last 15 years, looking at projects, getting scripts, I've had to tell people like, all right, this is cool, this is funny, it's entertaining, but it's really not addressing anything culturally. And right now, you're moving into an area where you actually have a voice where people are listening to you. Is this really what you want to say in this moment?
Yeah. Yeah, because history will show what you said.
Well, a lot of folks are like, yeah, that's what I have to say. And that's why I feel optimistic about this one, because now folks are centered and focused in a different way, so that now what it is that they want to say, what they have to say, has shifted a little bit. You know, some of us, it's the same message. For some artists, they've been, you know, talking about empowering Black folks their whole career, whereas others are now being introduced to the emergency level of our place in the world, and that's how it's been from day one. So I'm happy that everybody, whoever's on board now, welcome. I embrace them, and I'm happy that they're here. I'm excited for any new work that I have coming out for people to hear that message and begin to understand me better as an artist. I think that's a difficult proposition, especially for marginalized people moving into the industry, of them being seen in an honest light for who they are, as opposed to just what their character is. I know for a fact that sometimes Hollywood will choose to turn you into something to make you marketable or digestible to the public, or maybe to just them. But that might not necessarily be who you are.
And that's why I wanted to have you on today, because, you know, you're such an iconic, you know, artist, actor, just in Hollywood in general, especially in a lot of Black men and women's upbringing, childhood, generation, right? Because the iconic juice, of course. But a lot of people don't know that you're a writer, you're a director, you're a producer, like you do theater. They know you through your father. They know you through Tupac. And I just want to have the conversation just, you know, off of what you said. Who are you? And that's why I want to talk to you today, because I just love the fact that a lot of people are catching up to who you've always been. Like, if people know who you are and they see the work that you've done, even outside of Girlfriends or for Color Girls, with your writing and your poetry and the artistic things that you do behind the scenes, I really am, you know, grateful for artists like you who are doing that, because you strike me as the type of man it's not about the fame. It's about doing the work, doing what you're called to do, and stepping into your purpose. And so I like that. So talk to me a little bit about why you've chosen very carefully to make sure that you have all those areas in your life active.
Something I want to share with the people is there is safety in anonymity. A lot of folks want to be famous and they don't know what that entails. Mm-hmm. Now, I had some early experience with someone who desperately wanted to be famous so that they could be heard, and that was mm-hmm. Tupac Shakur. And that ended in blood and violence. History will speak to the fact that any time, especially if you're black in America, if you come out and you just blatantly tell the truth, from a place, from a forum, from a podium that has exposure, that has range, that has generally ended in violence and death. And that's made a lot of our leaders or potential leaders, those men and women that have that capacity. And right now, no, I'm not. And over the last 20 years, no, I'm not ready to take a bullet. I'm not ready to get lynched. I'm not ready to get dragged behind somebody's pickup truck just for telling the truth.
Amen. That's real. Especially, with you have a family. I hear that. That's real.
So when people in the industry or anybody, even like you just said, behind the scenes, what I'm doing is not behind the scenes. What I'm doing is my scene. I'm creating in a forum that I feel is safe for me and my family.
Nice.
I've been in LA and been asked a question in a room, in some of those rooms, and I made the mistake of thinking that when this question was asked, that they actually wanted an answer. No, they wanted agreement. So me being foolish and not schooled at that time, I gave them my honest answer, and then it was like, who does he think he is? Why is he so radical? And we thought Khalil was a nice guy. I am nice.
You are a nice guy. You are such a nice guy, yes.
But don't ask me, unless you want to. I thought we were having a conversation. No. America's not having a conversation with black people. Never have. They want agreement. That's it. And now we're no longer in that place, and a lot of people are uncomfortable, and I'm cool with that.
Me too. So with everything happening in the world, and this, I keep saying that we're iconic, but this is history being made, that we're witnessing history, that we're going to talk to our grandkids and look back and go, I was there when all of this was going down under this administration and all of that. And with all the things that are happening in the news every day, talk to me about Lambs to Slaughter, your play, and why you've chosen to write that and the subject matter, because without giving it away, because I'm glad you sent it to me, because there's some twists in there that I did not see coming. I was like, that's a good writer, because I did not see that coming. So I want to let you know that. But talk to me about why you decided to write this play. And I will say the reason why I can't wait to see it produced is because you don't get to see a lot of black women grieve, especially when I look at what's happened over the time and the years of when you look at Mike Browns and the George Floyds of the world, and just the mothers who are left behind, and then they have to do these interviews, they do this press, and they're so strong. And I know as a black woman, I don't have children, but I know I'm like the pain that they're going through, but the way that they have to hold that front, we've never really get to see them grieve, even in public. And so I am like, thank you for writing something where you see a mother dealing with her grief, because black women don't get that opportunity. So I wanted to say that.
I come from a single parent home. I remember, I think it was like in 94, 95, I gave a speech at a junior high school here in New York, and off the cuff I asked the question, how many of the student body, how many of you come from a single parent home? And it really fucked me up, because almost every hand in a packed auditorium went up, and like I had to fight back the tears, because all of a sudden it became very real to me, like where we were at as far as family structure, as Black people in America, as people of color in America, and my own upbringing, my own childhood came back to me in a flash. Black women in America are superheroes, man, and y'all don't have time to grieve in front of your kids. If something bad happens, one of your children gets murdered, and you have two other kids, is it time? Do you have the room to grieve? No. All of a sudden, it locks in that you got to protect your other two kids, like now, before somebody else gets killed. And there's a big difference between somebody dying and somebody being murdered. I wrote this play out of my own family history. My first cousin Dorian was murdered. I didn't get an opportunity to grieve that, so I did it through writing. When I came back, when I moved back to New York City, I did a party for the 20-year anniversary of Juice. So I did a free screening up in Harlem. Everyone was welcome. We threw a party afterwards. There was a great reception beforehand. We raised some money for an organization called Harlem Mothers Save. Jackie O. Adams, that's my baby, Jackie O. Adams. They counsel women, mothers, after they've lost a child to gun violence, and they will counsel you and take care of you as long as you want to come. They go to the precinct with you. They go to the morgue with you. They go to court with you. They're holding these parents down, mothers and fathers, but it's mostly mothers. So in researching this organization, I went there and sat with the mothers and heard their story. And I remember talking to Jackie O. Adams and saying, well, I'd love to sit in. And she was like, just meeting me. So she's, I don't know if you're really ready for that. And I was like, I'm good. I'm ready. We sat down with the first day we did it. She was like, oh, he's ready. Because I know what it is. I've gone through it personally. And I remember sitting there with one of the mothers, and I asked her, well, what do you want? Like, what do you want from this? And she said, I want this feeling to go away. And I remember telling her, it's never going to go away. You need to learn how to manage it. And it felt, even to me, harsh at the moment. But it was real. And it resonated with her, with Jackie, and with myself. That it's the reality of the situation. That's never going to go away. You lost a child to violence. But that never goes away. She talked about losing time and not knowing what day it was. Like, all these things. After talking to all these mothers, it just became clear to me that for me to be healthy and to show some love and respect to them, that they definitely deserve, I had to write this play. So I wrote it.
Yeah, I'm glad you wrote it, and I love the use of time without giving it away, because guys, once it's produced and you guys can see this, I really want you guys to make sure you look out for it. Lamb to Slaughter, that Khalil wrote, because the way he writes the characters, the use of poetry, you see a lot of, the influence of the musicality, especially with the long speeches. And so I really, because first I was just like, let me go ahead and scroll through this and see, and then I started reading, and I was like, and I couldn't put it down. So I just want to say thank you, because one, I don't see, myself on stage a lot, and two, also giving the room for a Black woman to grieve, as you said. And I can't wait to see it. So what's the next step for this?
What do you think about this character, Joan? Is this a character that you would be interested in playing?
Oh, yes. I mean, when I read it, I was like, please, who wouldn't want to play this part? Because to explore that side. And because I've seen interviews of you in the past, and where people ask you, how do you get into character, because they can't wrap their minds around getting into certain kinds of humanity, especially with your character and for Colored Girls. And it's like one of these things where, for me, even though I don't have a child myself, my end would be with Joan, would be just how I grieve when every time one of us gets shot, the Breonna Taylors of the world, the Sandra Blands, I grieve as if, because That's
because these are your children.
And they're like my kids. Tamir Rice, I cried and cried and cried with Tamir Rice. It's as if I had it myself, because when it happens to them, it happens to me, it happens to us. And so that is what I felt when I was reading the play, and I was just like this, and then the friend, I'm not gonna give it away, but see, like don't trust no women sometimes. No, I'm just being funny. But there's some people in your life that you're gonna have to look at twice.
Yeah, but there's also that element that all right, I said that black women are superheroes.
Yeah.
But they can't cover everything.
Yeah.
There's so much going on that there are deficiencies. My mother can't hold my hand all of the time. And because we all have to be strong, there's plenty of times my mother did not understand how deeply in pain I was, how much I was suffering, how much I needed her embrace, her touch, for her to hold my hand. And at the same time, as a black man and traveling in this universe, I don't want to show any weakness, not even to my mother. And that's wrong. I need to be able to come to you and say, Cherry, I'm hurting today.
Yeah.
I really am. Yeah. I feel low. I feel weak. I feel in pain. I need a hug. I need to be taken care of. When do we do that for each other?
Yeah.
When do we do that to each other? When's the last time?
Yeah, those images are important. Yeah, they're important.
It's difficult to do that. So that character also was there for Joan in a way of taking care of her child for her in the way that she could.
Yes, and that's how we're gonna say. But like, I can't wait for it to come out. But okay, so tell people, when is this? Because it's going to be produced
by the Negro Ensemble Company.
Yes,
NBC is doing it. Either May or June of 2021. We don't know because
of course, with everything going on.
Yeah. But in the meantime, I'm using this time for development, creating music. I have somebody to do the music, and I have a dramaturg. So we're gonna get into the work, and part of that work is getting at the table with some actors.
Oh, hey.
To really dive into the play, and I spoke to Keith, who's going to be doing some music for me. I spoke to Keith last night, and I was like, "Yo, you need to Keith Johnston. Do you know Keith?"
Yeah.
All right. So I told Keith I need you in that room, in that table, just to hear what you hear.
Because the musicality is there, the rhythm is there. Like I can see it.
Yeah. You start crafting, and he was like, and Keith read this play a year ago. He was like, bruh, but we have to keep working. So I had the play, it was done. I have done a couple of readings of it, staged readings that went well. The response was always positive. But then I went to Pittsburgh and I did a production of Pipeline.
Oh yeah, Dominique Morisseau. Yeah.
This was last year, and and we were right in the middle of like rehearsal when she won the MacArthur. So we're on Zoom with her, we're rapping with her. I love Dominique. Oh my God.
Yeah, she's great. She's great, people. You guys out there watching, get her plays. Dominique Morisseau. Go online and buy her plays and read them. They're great.
Yes. MacArthur genius, y'all. Like legit.
Yes.
Now we're diving into this. Reginald Douglas was the director. I love that man too. Beautiful young brother. He really represented on this piece, and you could tell he loved the work. He loved the play. I loved the play. But we dove into this play. We just dug. So now I'm looking at her play. I'm looking at my play. I'm like, it's time. I got to go back in.
I
have to go back in. So I came home and started, rewriting, revisions. Then I went out to DC to work on Top Dog Underdog,
which is a great play too, you guys. Top Dog, Susan Laurie Parks, get that play too, guys.
So now I'm looking at her play. Now looking at my play. I need to, So I did. I did like due diligence, and this isn't like a throw it out there. No, I really did.
No,
Piece.
Where it's at is nice too. Like I can't wait to see where it goes. It's really nice.
Yeah,
it's in a good place.
Yeah. I'm excited about doing the work in this next year, moving it to the stage. And officially, you have an open invitation to come sit at the table. So
yes, I would listen. I would love it. When I was reading it, I was like, just put the name, just tattoo the name on my shoulder. Come on.
That's a huge compliment, because that's what you want as a writer, for actors to look at the text and say, "Oh, I want to play this role.
Yeah,
this is a
that's
role
how I felt
like
when I was reading it.
Lovely. I think that's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I accept that invitation. And something that you say that just me knowing you and just watching you work and what you say about your work is your artistry that I like is that you allow for place for evolution, because same thing you said right now about Dominique Morisseau and Susan Laurie Parks about being in their plays, and then you go, oh, I got to go raise the bar. Let me go raise my bar. And then you said the same thing about Juice and the audition of Juice, and just going into the room and you're like, oh, it's like that? Bet you throwing this at me? Okay, I'm gonna throw the ball back at you. And you recognize it, and you allow yourself to evolve with it, which I find a lot of artists will not do, or the insecurity gets in the way, or they shut themselves down, or they sabotage. And for you, it seems like you welcome that. You're like, nope, I'm ready. The bar is here. I'm going to reach up here. And I love that about you. You say this is a consistent thing that you say in all your interviews. And so tell me why that's so important for you.
If you invite in the generosity of another artist, you might be shocked and amazed at the gift that you receive. Mm-hmm. Now, I've worked with Ruby G. I've worked with Gregory Hines. I've worked with Gossett Jr. And you better be ready to receive it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Seriously. I don't think that there's any space for ego and creativity in the same room.
Amen.
There's just not. I think one can't live with the other. I mean, if you want to have the ego, have it. You can do that in that space, but not in the same space as creativity. And if you want creativity to really live and thrive in this space, we need to take ego and put it out of the space. I mean, I truly believe that without Tupac Shakur, I would have never gotten the role in Juice. I'm in the room with that young man, and we're auditioning, all of us. Because what they did was they would bring us in the room and let us read all the parts. All right, right now you're going to be Raheem, you're Q, you're Bishop. And then we would do the scene. All right, now you're Steele, and you do Raheem, and you do. So we're kind of tossing these things around. And I'm looking over at this boy, and I'm like, yo, if I want a role in this film, which I do, I'm going to have to either match his energy or surpass it. So we're talking about an actor that's in the room and setting a tone. Like, this is what it is. Like, y'all, you better come on, And
sounds like he was prepared. Like he came in ready. And you was like, oh, okay,
but as opposed to being threatened by that, or allowing my ego to go, he ain't better than me. Fuck that. No, there's no ego. Take that as an invitation.
Yeah, I think that's an important lesson.
So that's what I did.
It's an important lesson for a lot of artists.
Yeah. I believe so. Also,
I
want to say before I forget, because
please do.
All the time, and it's for the artists. It's for my young, brilliant artists that are coming up. I've been hearing, because I've been doing interviews lately, and it's for them, mind you. I want them to know that we live, The word icon comes up a lot when people talk about iconic, and this is iconic, and this is iconic. I want them to understand that those words, when I hear them, they come from us. They come from my fans. They come from other Black artists. They come from us. I've never heard the word iconic and Khalil Kain spoken together from the industry per se. I've never heard Hollywood call me iconic. I've never heard any network executive introduce me as iconic. So understand what that entails and respect your people and respect your fan base.
Yeah.
They are the ones that hold you down. They are the ones that show you the love and help you figure out your place in this universe of entertainment. And that's a big thing, a huge thing. And now, almost 30 years in the business, I'm so happy that I've always been in a place where I get love, I show love. That has more to do with my mother than anything else.
Yeah.
But it's a big deal. So all y'all youngins that's coming up, show love.
Well, is this a lot of pressure for you? Because, yes, because I use that word iconic too, because for a lot of us, many of us watching today and people who will watch this later, like when you look at your resume and you look at Juice, you look for, and black young boys seeing themselves in a different way in your characters and with Bishop and the choices that were made and just being, in the hood and being fam, together in that way. And then for the black women, iconic show like Girlfriends, like it's like you touch every area, right? It's like you have Juice, black boys saw themselves and was like, yo, that's my movie. And then for us it was Girlfriends, and just the way your character and with being a father and being a husband and just that storyline. And so then you look at the people that you worked with, like with Snoop Dogg, and then Tyler Perry and Love Jones. I mean, like just so for us, Black Mecca, Black Hollywood is like, we it's like your name is going to be up there because you look back at your resume and it's like, wow, this man, his purpose is very clear. But how do you feel? Is there pressure for you to have to live up to that? Because I feel like I would be like, oh snap, like this is a lot,
No, there's no pressure. I mean, I understand. It's a beautiful thing to know that every day when I walk out the door into the street, that I'm gonna run into somebody that's gonna have a smile on their face and they're gonna be happy to see me. That's a beautiful thing. I mean, I will let y'all know right now, my people love me. Love me. And that has held me down, like hard times when I'm not feeling my best, or I'm depressed, or feeling anxiety, or somebody like you comes along and says iconic. It's amazing, but it's amazing when it's just from your work. I take that seriously. I take the responsibility of that seriously. I'm excited about my legacy. I think that's another thing that's important to share with the younger artists coming up. Respect your legacy. Approach it with some sort of care. Understand that now more than ever, with the technology that we have, images are a big deal. What's yours going to be? Now we can't always dictate the characters that we play. The rent's got to be paid. But you still go out in the world. You still post on your IG. You still do your thing. You still go out and have dinner. You still are seen at the bars and the clubs or wherever. I don't care where you are. Understand that people are watching. I have 3 children. I have family that I love and respect. It's very important to me that my mother remains proud of me. And anybody out there who knows my mother knows that's a proud woman. Oh, my baby. Right? I deal with that in a healthy way. I let it empower me as opposed to weight me down.
No, I love that. That's a good lesson for people to hear. So as whoever's out there watching, as your career grows, always keep that in mind. That the community, especially the community, will hold you up if you hold them up the way that you have been doing over these years. And so, for one thing, I wanted to ask personally that Cherry wants to know is, so you grow up with your iconic father, Kain, and And then before Juice, you weren't really in any movies. Juice was your first big break. But up until that point, were you even thinking about pursuing acting, or was it when you were growing up that's something you didn't want to do? Because growing up in a household, artistic household like that, and having traveling and knowing Amiri Baraka and Taki Sungay and all these iconic people, Gilsart Heron, why wasn't that I mean, I would think that would be a given, but why wasn't that for you? What were you looking?
What is the annual income of a poet?
Well, amen. That's real.
So my childhood was interesting. I think we moved 16 times by the time I was 14.
Wow.
So there were no roots. There were no, and I mean, whatever. This is America. What does that mean anyway? I think all of that adversity built some very strong children. And my mother is amazing, but I also it gave me a clear understanding of the realities of being an artist. I mean, for real. That those poems are just words, and it's how you implement them, utilize them, how you spiritualize them, that gives them weight, that gives them importance. I respect all the work that they do, but the struggle was real. The danger was real. I remember the feds looking for Felipe Luciano because of his affiliation with the Young Lords. Kicking in our door, wanting to know where he was. And to this day, Felipe, that's like, one of my dads. He's known me since I was 5 years old. He always says I'm Puerto Rican. It's crazy. I love, but this is love, That's my life. That's my blood. Those are my connections. And those are not my connections to entertainment. Those are my connections to culture. Those are my connections to spirit. Khalil and Kain, my father said, time ain't nothing but a river moving through an empty hand. You can hold on if you want to, but Lord, when the shit hits the fan, we're living in that now, and I'm not really concerned about how much time I have left. I'm concerned with what I'm doing today, how I'm spending this time right now, and am I utilizing it to its fullest? Am I being energetic? Am I being honest? I mean, those are things that are important to me right now.
Well, no, I just love everything about your artistry and what you're doing and what you've done in the past and what the future holds. And so I just want to say, I want to take a time to ask, there's some fans coming up, they're asking some questions, but so you guys can ask him a question. I can't guarantee that he's going to answer them, but if you guys, while we're here, before we go, if you want to ask Khalil a question while you have him here, please do put it in the chat. Ask him a question, and we'll answer it. And if there's no questions, then we'll move on to the cherry pick. At the end of each interview, I ask my guests for a cherry pick. It's a way for you guys to know what's out there in the community, learn about a new book, a new restaurant, a new movie, anything artistic. And so that's for you guys. But before we do that, if you guys want to ask him a question, I see everybody's giving you a lot of love and saying they love you and legacy and iconic and respect, and I love that. So, I love the fact that your fans are giving you love right now. But what would a cherry pick be for you, Khalil? Do you have a cherry pick that you would want to pay it forward to someone or put it out there in the atmosphere?
Definitely. I would like to pay it forward to my man Joe Masonette, Joe Trainer. Joe is a black business owner in New York City. He owns a wellness center down in Tribeca, actually. This is a top-notch gym, a wellness center that deals with individual achievement and health.
So he's hands-on in all aspects of the body.
Yes, but I mean, like the equipment that he has there. I mean, he will do head to toe deal when you go in, and then really be able to address what your issues are. There's nothing frivolous about his approach to wellness. They have acupuncture, they have massage therapy, they have classes, yoga, dance, but the space is super dope. And Joe is amazing. He's been, in my life for a while, and I'm very proud of him because I've seen him grow. I've seen him grow as a human being, and I've seen him grow his business. And jtrainwellness.com and
jtrainwellness.com.
Yeah, Joe Trainer. The spot is super dope, man. And if you're ready to really get your health to a place that is optimum, you need to go see Joe.
That's so good. I love it because we, especially learning and knowing, it's good for me too because I want to learn about different Black-owned businesses, support, because I think part of what I'm seeing a lot of is a lot of people are looking for Black-owned businesses to support, to buy from. They're not a lot of people, especially in my circle, they're not wanting to rush to Amazon to buy stuff. They really want to seek out and look and get products made for us, by us, and about us. And so that's why I think it's important that we, just give a nugget to people. So if somebody is looking for healthy, they can, because to know that there's a Black-owned gym in Tribeca, I didn't even know that. You know what I mean? So
and
that.
I don't even want to say the roster of membership at that spot right now.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's
crazy.
It's really, well, yeah, it's very, how do I say this? Discreet.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, like literally walking
I understand.
forward, you fingerprint to enter, boom, you hit the button and
wow.
Really,
okay.
It's fly.
Is it one of those places where you walk by, you don't know it's there, and you have to know it's there, like when back in the day, like a Prohibition speakeasy club?
Yeah,
oh, okay. Wow.
Much.
Okay.
And the people that go train with Joe are high level people, amazing people in business and in the arts. He has artwork up on the walls that's amazing. I mean, it's a really beautiful place to take care of yourself. Joe is a very serious person. It's not really about, I'm trying to get fly for the summer. Joe wants you to live longer. So he's really pointing people in a place of optimum health.
Gotcha.
And if you're doing that, you're going to look amazing. So
I mean, look at you, ain't aged. I feel like you still look the same as when you're on juice. I'm just like, I'm like, what does he do? But you know what? It's like you focusing on yourself and having a family and like you said, like you know where you gonna be and who you're not gonna hang out with and how you just minding your own business and doing your thing. That is what's keeping you looking young, because you're not out here trying to be in everybody's business.
It's a love space. I'm not stressing. I'm chilling.
Yeah. I'm not gonna take all that on, and so it shows because you look the same. Like you have not aged. So, yeah. Yeah. So before we go, is anybody out there have any questions? Can you see the questions on your end if anything pops up? I'm trying to see.
Wait, who's this?
Somebody said watch foster. Go ahead.
How long was the set of juice? How many hours? How long was the set of juice? Yo, that was 30 years ago. I'm supposed to remember that. No, we were working normal long days. Have I tried Tex-Mex food before? I actually worked as a bartender at a spot called the Border Cafe many, many years ago, and Dave Winfield from New York Yankees owned the spot, and it was one of the best Tex-Mex restaurants in New York City at the time. So yeah, and the food was awesome.
Nice.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
How you holding? Jamel, what's up, cat? I'm chilling. Who else? What we got?
Anybody else coming before we head out? I guess that's about it.
Are you?
Well, yep.
Am I in a relationship? Yes, I am in a relationship. 10 years now. Yeah. Do you have a podcast?
How long was it? How was it working on the sitcoms?
Oh my God, I miss working on Girlfriends. Something terrible, man.
Tell me why.
That was such a beautiful. Come on, you gonna show up to work with them beautiful sisters, please?
Yeah, that's true.
Every day was fly.
Yes.
Mara Brock Akil.
Yeah.
is a visionary. She's like out of control of what she's been able to create for us as an audience and for her family. But she's bad as hell. Like Mara's fine. Like she's like this beautiful, brilliant woman.
I love that. I love that.
No, like Girlfriends was off the chain. Like I loved working there. Absolutely loved that job. And beyond just the set being cool and a great place to come to work, like the words that were given to me to speak and the way they portrayed this moment of Black love between Maya and Darnell, I thought was really kind of fly.
Yeah, I loved it too, because it's like there was nothing really around at the time. Like it just really opened the door and broke the mold for a lot of shows that you're starting to see today. But yeah, for me, I watched it every week. I didn't miss an episode because it was just speaking to me to my Black girl magic. I was like, yes, this is a show that I need.
Think about how much we took Girlfriends for granted back then. We're listening now, right?
Yeah, amen. Listen, amen.
So
somebody on here is saying you should do a podcast.
Maybe we'll see. I'm busy writing plays right now, but we'll work on that. Let's not take our work for granted. When you see something out there that you dig, give it some love. Watch it. Know the names. What are you watching right now?
Me, I just started Ozark because I've been so behind. Yeah, exactly. I just finished season 1. I know, and I'm about to start season 2, but I binge watched season 1 because I was like, everybody's talking about the show. I don't really have any interest, but then I was like, and then I started watching it. And my friend is on it. My friend Jessica, she's on season 3. So when she booked it, I was like, well, let me go ahead and watch it so I can support her. And now I'm like, yo, I can't wait for season 2 because the twists and the plots. I love it. I just don't know what's gonna happen. Like it's one of those shows that it's unpredictable. The whole first season had me on edge. I'm so behind. I know.
Yeah, no,
I'm so behind.
That's great. If you have Stars, have you checked out P Valley yet? Pussy Valley?
I have not. I'm gonna watch it though.
Yo,
it got renewed for season 2 already. Katori Hall, our girl, watch it.
Another amazing Black playwright, superhero woman who I have worked with, who I love. Yes, shout out to P Valley, my boy Jake Fonz. Everybody on that show is so fly. Like I'm not even a strip club dude. Like that's not my thing.
I'm from Vegas, so I like strip clubs. I grew up in Vegas.
I don't hate them, but I'm just saying it's not my thing. Like it's not like I'm rushing to go out to strip clubs. But this universe, this world that Katori created, and this show is based on a play, Pussy Valley. Yeah. The fact that this playwright, it freaks me out how the entertainment industry tries to diminish theater. That it's not as important as television or film. I'm not rolling.
But it is because all they're doing is getting playwrights to come right in their rooms. I'm like, first of all,
thank you. And that's all based on money and to keep money in a certain area, and whatever.
Yeah.
But
amen.
I want youngsters to understand theater may be the last place, the last bastion of honesty where you can go and tell your story and not be censored. If you think you're going to go on network television or on Netflix with some show and they're not going to edit your spirit, you're wrong. If you think you're going to do a studio picture and they're not going to edit your spirit, you're wrong. You can find a theater and put up something that allows you to tell your story your way. And right now, because of where we are historically, this is the perfect time. And Katori Hall is proving it, that you can take something outlandish from the stage and bring it to the screen, man. P Valley is fire.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait. It already got renewed. I'm so excited for her. I'm so excited for her.
And for the whole cast and crew for Pussy Valley, congratulations on season 2. Well done. It's super fly. She has all these great Black women directing. Like Katori's doing her thing. I love to see that.
I'm excited. Well, listen, before I could talk to you for hours, but I can only do an hour because Instagram will kick me off. So, but before we get kicked off, let me just give you my love and say thank you so much for saying yes and just for chit-chatting with me and connecting with me. I just wanted people to get to know more about you and who you are outside of what you've done. Your body of work says a lot about you, but there's a other side to you. And I'm really glad that they got to see that side of you today. I'm really excited. I'm really just grateful to have you on today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the invitation.
Of course, yes. And you know what? And the thing is, like, I love that philosophy, and I never really put it into words because I don't pursue a lot of things like that either. And I like the way you phrase it. So the invitation. So yes, that's my new thing as far as saying how I've been feeling, but not putting it into words. So, okay, we'll talk soon.